do?
Why don't we just wait here for a little while? See what happens.
What have you done to it? What have you done to its eyes? What have you done to him, you maniac? Join us! Join us! Join us! Listen, asshole!
No, you listen, you little bitch. You hang up on me again, I'll cut you like a fish.
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
Here's Johnny.
Welcome to episode 27 of Slice and Dice Dreadcast. I'm your host, Giuseppe Infante, coming in from Brooklyn, New York. Here with my co-host, Jim.
What's up, everybody? Coming in from Pittsburgh, PA.
How's it going tonight, Jim?
I'm hanging in there. Can't complain.
Excellent, excellent. We have two special guests on our show tonight. First, our special guest co-host, my partner on the new podcast, the Horror Mafia podcast, Mr. Bill Cassinelli.
How you doing, everybody?
All right, what's up, Bill? Coming in from Bangor, Maine, right?
And you got it.
Excellent. And tonight, we're going to do a little interview with a very special guest host tonight. And that would be Miss Deborah Voorhees. How you doing, Debbie?
I'm terrific. How are you guys doing?
We're doing all right.
Great, so
Slice
great.
and dice, you know? We're coming to have a good time and talk horror. So, well, welcome to our show, Debbie.
Thank you.
Where you coming in from right now?
Mexico.
New Mexico. I have a buddy in Santa Fe. He's a
Oh,
poet. Yeah, he does a lot of poetry stuff.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
You need to go. If I remember right, you haven't been here, right? Or you've been to Albuquerque?
I've never been out there. I've been to Arizona, but not New Mexico. But yeah, you know, one day I'll make it out west, the westward expansion.
It's awesome out there.
We're take our show on the road, Slice and Dice, traveling the country.
Hey, you never know. Well, most of our listeners that are horror fanatics will know you from Friday the 13th, A New Beginning, 1985 slasher classic as Tina. And, you know, that was many moons ago, right? So now we're here in 2017. And although we'll probably talk about that in a bit, how about you let our listeners know what you're up to nowadays?
Awesome. Well, right now, my biggest project is a comedy horror called The List. And it's about a serial killing socialite. Yeah.
Interesting.
It's going to be a blast. It's going to have kind of a mystery. Okay, oops, here comes one of my dogs. Kenny's here.
Hey, what's up, bud?
Downstairs.
Dog night.
Sorry.
Dog night on Slice.
She wanted to have some time on the TV. Or on. So
They'll have to make an appearance later.
Oh, jeez.
it's gonna be my influences are like Hitchcock Psycho. So I like the mystery and kind of the dark shadows that come with that. And then I'm also mixing in like some Edgar Wright, Shaun of the Dead, Serial Bomb, you know, kind of thing. So
Get weird.
That's nice.
Lots of craziness.
And speaking of dying, is this the project that you mentioned to us earlier where you can film and win a contest?
Absolutely. We'd love to offer you.
And for those listening to the podcast, we just got a nice neck swipe right there.
Oh, yeah. I want some garden shears in
Yes.
We're having a competition. We're going to fly in somebody. It's going to be a drawing, and we're going to fly them in up. They're going to be part of the cast and crew. And we're going to come up with a really deliciously rotten way for them to go.
That's awesome, man. Let the blood shed.
That's right. You know, you got to do what you got to do.
So how can people enter this contest? What do you got to do?
Sign up. You go. The easiest way is to go to Facebook and go to the horror comedy. If you go over to my site, you'll find it, and also you do that @ sign, and then just to @ and then Voorhees. It'll take you right there in the banner. There's a sign up button. Hit it.
Excellent. I just jotted that down, and I will share that in the group for peeps.
All you horror freaks, get over there, create your own kill.
Sounds pretty
I'm
badass.
so excited about that.
So it's gonna have some like noir type side to it. You were kind of saying, right? The mystery, the darkness with horror comedy, right?
Right, exactly.
That sounds awesome.
Exactly.
And
I like them too. I'm a big fan of like dark comedies. And so if you can take and put those together and add some of the elements that come with, like Hitchcock Psycho, and even just think in terms of like the London Psycho, how stuff versus some of the other comedies I mentioned, they're more, high key lighting, lighting everywhere. Whereas this, I want it to have more of a mysterious feel, but still very much the comedy. Well, then think a lot about, like, you look at Young Frankenstein. It's got the dark shadows and all of that, but it's totally fun.
Yes.
Comedy. Yeah.
So this is tentatively to come out in 2018? 2018 you're looking at?
Right. Yeah.
All right,
I'm
great.
not putting a date yet because I'm still putting everything together. So, but yeah.
And this would be written and directed by you?
Yes.
Excellent. And but this would not be your first feature, correct?
No, it's not my first rodeo for sure. I did Billy Shakespeare before that. And then I've got another film out called Catching Up, which dark comedy. And it actually is the same character in Catching Up as who's in the list. And that's my serial killing socialite. Only in Catching Up, she's a socialite obsessed with murder. But we're graduating her.
Nice.
Moving to the dark side, eh?
Moving to the dark side. She was already pretty dark.
Just need that little push.
But now she's killing Cliff.
So, Billy Shakespeare, let's take a step back to that. So, Billy Shakespeare, reference to William Shakespeare. I'm not familiar with the film, but I'm familiar with William Shakespeare. So, and I actually wrote a poem once that was called "To Be or Not to Be," which depicted William Shakespeare as like some maniac with a skull hanging out under his desk, and yeah, pretty kind of accurate. But anyway, fucking, it was weird and shit, But Billy Shakespeare, on your end, this is your first directorial debut, right?
Right.
All right. So can you let our listeners know? Give us a little tidbit what this film's about.
It's imagining what if William Shakespeare never existed until now.
Whoa.
He's in Hollywood trying to peddle his screenplays now. And I basically really, Shakespeare, I really took the historical part of what we do know about Shakespeare, modern day terms, down to that the family used to have a glove factory, the big gloves, and his wife's or girlfriend's name was Anne Hathaway after his was Anne Hathaway too. So I got a good kick for it. We'll go, oh, Anne Hathaway, the actress?
Wow.
Of course.
Named after the actress. No.
Oh man, that sounds awesome.
I'm
I'm gonna have to look into that. Check that one out.
Let's switch gears. Let's switch gears
see.
back 30 years now. What 85, man. Wow. I'm sure a lot of people have asked you about, your last name as far as being in the Friday the 13th movie. How much of a coincidence was that?
Well, No. It's just it ends up being pretty funny sometimes, because people are like, you can just see it, like they'll look at a check of mine or look at my card and look at me, cock their head.
Huh?
I went to the bank with a check from Michael Myers.
No way. No way.
That is awesome.
That's hysterical. The irony there, huh?
Yep.
Talk about Shakespeare. That's Shakespeare today right there.
No, exactly.
I think what Jim was trying to ask was it like, or maybe this isn't the question I actually was going to ask before. What was it like, working on Friday the 13th film?
It was awesome. I've always enjoyed working on film sets. I really have. It's one of those things, like, you kind of pinch yourself, I'm working, really?
It's just fun, right? You had a good time.
It was a blast. You can imagine, going to the lunch line, a guy holding his head, another one holding his arm, and it's a funny sight.
I can only imagine just everybody in, bloody attire, banged up. It's grabbing lunch,
That's it. Well, what are you going to do?
You got like a big gaping wound on your neck. Eating a cheeseburger. Yeah.
That's exactly it.
That's awesome. So is Friday the 13th the only horror film you worked on from, I guess the new one that you're going to do, right? But any other horror films that you were involved in? Any other, gigs that were memorable?
I have been killed 3 times. Once in a film called Voyeurs. And let's see, there's Friday the 13th Voyeurs, and I'm trying to remember the name of the other one. Dang it.
Was it Innocent Prey?
That's it. That's it. Thank you.
Sure. Excellent. Still got 6 more lives left. Right.
Let's see. There's Innocent Prey. Let's see. No, wait. Voyeurs was changed to Innocent Prey.
Oh, okay.
And so another one. But I basically, I've had my throat slit, I've had my eyes gouged out, and I've been stabbed in the chest. Which I just thought all of that was rude.
How rude.
How does it feel to be one of the cast members not murdered by the actual Jason Voorhees?
Now, see, I would have to argue that in spirit, it's always Jason. Because, think about it. The actual character of Jason changes every time. It's not like the same guy has played him all the time. Print that Roy had on the mask, whether CJ or Kane.
Uh-oh. Here we go. I would agree with that. Jim is our resident Friday the 13th diehard.
No, there's always that one movie in the franchise. We were just talking about the Halloween Part 3, and this is kind of, what you're watching, and you're kind of like, oh, well, what did I just watch? Because it really wasn't Jason. It was an angry father. But I guess in essence, it is a Jason-esque character.
Spirit of Jason.
Of course.
He had the killing tactics of Jason.
I honestly, I think what would have been the best choice for it would have been to go with Tommy as the killer, and carry that torch on. Yeah. And I think if you really think about it, I think with being the ambulance driver, it was a little bit jolting. I think they were kind of trying to decide what way they were going to go, and it was kind of like, we're going to have this twist, now we're going to have another twist. Yeah. And I can kind of see the reasoning for it, but I think Tommy would have been a better choice. Interesting character. And, just having it an angry father, which I love the ambulance driver and everything, but I think that would have been a better one to choose to carry on in Jason's footsteps.
I think we all thought that's where it was going to go, but I mean, I agree. They had a build up of it, but it just seemed like nobody really could, take the ball and make it work. I would have loved to see it happen, but yeah, it's sad it didn't.
I mean, the franchise could have went to a whole nother. I mean, granted, it made so many more films afterwards, but a whole different direction with maybe even a more of a, I don't know, different kind of sequence of killings, because it's a different killer, a different character, influence from Jason, but with his own twist on it, kind of like, not that, I'm not like Friday the 13th over the top. Don't get me wrong. I think the franchise is great. It's not my favorite franchise. I think it's great still, but like, as a collective, it's not like they're the best. Like, I guess I'm not going to sit there and analyze them. So I don't know if you listen to our show, but I'm like the resident guy that takes everything and has to bring it to a whole nother level, like a nut job, and Jim has to bring me back down to earth. So, I don't get me wrong. I think they're fun. I could put them on, have a great time, laugh, it's great. It's classic, iconic, I love it. But like, I think maybe it could have went into a whole different direction where it might have had a little more of a serious tone, something like that,
I think you're right. I think it could have, because his character was so interesting. You just, and especially the way that John Shepard played it in 5.
Mm-hmm.
He did such a good job. And I don't know if you've ever spoken to him or not, but he stayed in character throughout. He didn't break character because we were, just hanging out having lunch. He stayed in that space. And I think it made for a really fine performance. I mean, Friday the 13th are known for, being fun and having, some, it's kind of like that Saturday matinee popcorn movie you go to see kind of thing.
Yep.
And, but I think John kind of brought in a different level to the piece and to the character that I personally found really interesting.
Yeah. I mean, I think at that point, 4, extremely strong film, and like had a total change of pace where it was like, now you got a family here that they're working with, and then you get, Tommy Jarvis comes into play, and 5 I think stands strong still, and then obviously you go into 6, 7, 8, they start to get a little offbeat, but 4, 5 solid, definitely solid. 1, 2, 4, and 5 I think are the best.
One,
I think where 5 is really solid is that it goes back to the roots of the first one as being the mystery.
Mm-hmm.
Who's the killer?
Yeah.
Right.
Because in one neither.
Bill, get in there.
Hey, I'm right here. I'm agreeing. I thought 5 is my top 3, by the way. So.
Nice.
Yeah, one thing I liked about the franchise was like, I thought that they had so many different ideas and so many different ways they could have taken it, but like different from like the Halloween franchise, which is it caters around a certain family, certain people, the entire franchise pretty much, except for the last part 8. Basically until Jamie Lee Curtis gets killed. But I just feel like if they would have stayed a little bit more of a backstory with the Friday the 13th, oh yeah, if you haven't seen Resurrection, she dies. But I would have loved to see more of a backstory in each movie with Friday the 13th. I think it would have given it a lot more substance, a lot more just a guy walking through the woods killing people.
Right.
I think they were going to go with that angle, having Tommy be the killer in the next film, but I believe Mr. Shepard took to religion and he didn't want to do any more horror, so they changed the script for part 6 and they brought in Tom Matthews.
Yeah.
Right. I think they could have still made that leap because they kept changing that who was playing Tommy.
Right.
So I think they could have done that, and it wouldn't have, because the Friday the 13th, the real star, of course, is Jason, and so to change who's actually playing what role within it, I don't think would make that much difference to fans. Do you guys agree?
I think that was it. They just wanted to see more Jason back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, even look at the Friday
Everybody
13th
wants
game.
that cash.
Look at the Friday 13th game now. They even have Tommy as the main savior. If you watch anything about the new game out, anybody can become, him as an adult playing Tommy to save the campers and stuff. So that gives a lot of credence to his character and what they thought of it. But it's just a shame they couldn't do more with it.
I agree. Yeah, definitely.
So, Debbie, what is your favorite Friday the 13th film?
Aside from part 5.
I'll pick one then.
Not New Blood. Not New Blood.
Oh, jeez.
The first one.
All right.
Hey,
all right. 1 and 2, I think, are 5 stars in my opinion.
That's
Cool.
it. 1, 2, and 5 are my favorites right there.
Yeah.
Nice.
Okay.
I've noticed that it seems to me that very often the favorite film for Friday the 13th is the first one the person saw. And I've seen that so many times. Now, of course, I'm not saying that happens all the time because I'm sure it varies a lot. I've seen it so many times.
I mean, it definitely runs through somebody's life, because I'll tell you, at one point, Jason Takes Manhattan was my favorite. And,
Yeah.
that was the first one I saw.
Are you having a stroke?
I think it was his favorite until we did the Friday the 13th episode a couple months ago, and he was like, wow, this movie sucked.
Oh, man. we did for our 10th episode, it was Friday the 13th, and we were doing our 10th episode, and we did live commentary for Jason Takes Manhattan. And what else?
Part 7 and part 8.
Yes. And, man, that was interesting to watch, because I haven't seen it and forget about it, years. But
Forget about it.
yeah, I ran through
all-
the franchise this year, actually.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
I think we all have that movie that we watched and we just thought it was so great when we were 12, and we saw it and go, it must be really good for 12-year-olds.
Yeah.
We always say that whenever we watch older movies, like, does it hold up? Does it hold up to our memory? And nostalgia factor is huge, but is it actually as good as we thought it was? Kind of like food you had as a kid, you have as an adult, and you're like, wow, this is disgusting. It wasn't that good.
Movies hold up. They are really, really great then and now too.
Yeah, definitely.
Now,
Hey, mine was the Garbage Pail Kids. My mother had when I was like 3 years old. My mother used to have to rent it every day for $1, and the guy felt bad for her. He made a bootleg copy and gave it to her.
that's
I
funny.
watched it like a couple of years ago, and then I watched it recently with my daughter, and gosh, I think it's fun, but cinematically, it's really fucking a terrible movie.
But it did its job. You kept you entertained for a lot of years.
Dang. The subjectivity of art,
That's right.
Now,
Exactly.
heading back to Friday for one more time. Now, is it a positive or a negative to you to be known as one of the most memorable, keep us classy, nude scenes in a horror
Scream
film?
Queens. Okay.
No.
Take it to the nudity.
Yes. Well, I mean, you have to know that it's true. I mean, that's what people love most about that movie is the excessive nudity and drug use. It's known as one of the most, so out of the franchise. So, what is it a positive or a negative thing as far as being the actress that everybody looks at and talks about?
I have to say anything that has to do with this film has to be positive.
Good.
I don't have any negative feelings about it at all. I mean, to me, we kind of live in a really weird world if you really think about it.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
Whole concept that somehow or another that the elbow's okay to show, but if I flash you, it's like wrong.
Hey.
Come on. That's weird.
Yeah, definitely.
That's why horror people are a different breed because we don't think any of that's bad.
So there was a thread in the Facebook group, asking who was the hottest, scream queen, females from all the Friday films, and I think you won the vote.
Yeah, I think so.
She did. I'm the one who created that poll, remember?
Yeah, Bill, yes, he did.
Yep.
Yes, he did. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Well, I'm fighting for my life over there on one of them, trying to stay in there and not die this go around. They're doing a final girl kind of thing. I'm like on there. So if you guys get over there for me and try and keep me alive.
What was that on?
That's on the Friday the 13th fans.
Oh, okay.
I have a question for Deborah.
Man, poor chick that she hated me. I'm like, come on, you don't even know me. I don't even know you. I'm like, really? How can you hate me? We had a conversation. I'm sure I've never said anything to you. It was cracking me up.
That's hysterical. Hey. So I think Bill's got a question for you.
I do. Deborah, what is the weirdest thing a fan has ever done for you?
Ooh.
I can't say that anything was weird. I've had some really cool things. I had somebody make me like into a South Park character, which was really that. There's, people have done drawing myself and Jason in it, and some of the nicest things, story written about me in real life. And he had seen Friday the 13th the night before, and he's like in the elevator with me looking over going, wait a minute, do I know her?
How do I know her? I know her from somewhere.
Thing about it, because it was just so sweet, because he talking about how it just really made his day, even though we didn't really say that much, and he said hello to me, and I just said nicely hello back, and he asked me if I was that girl, and I just he said
Wow.
and he said a second he heard me laughing too. He goes, I know that laugh.
Horror fans
But
are good.
Hey.
I know, they're awesome.
Yeah.
But I have to say my favorite, say anything, negative about anybody's wonderful things that they've done, because I really feel blessed and grateful for all of them. But my favorite is Jean Lajoie from, he was Taco on the League, and then he also has a really popular YouTube channel, comedy and music and stuff. And if you guys seen it, it's this amazing
The song.
video.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, blew me away. Absolutely blew me away. I was completely honored. And I got to meet him when I was in Los Angeles.
My friend actually sent me a picture of you and him and said, is this who you're talking to tonight? It was you and him in a picture together she found on the internet. I was like, yeah, that's her. That's funny you brought that up. That's cool.
Awesome.
Oh, he is so awesome. He's such a nice man. He's so nice and so talented.
Yeah.
Just so talented. Yeah.
I gotta ask you, do you have a favorite book?
Oh gosh. Oh man.
Or a couple favorites like that like really influenced your life? Like On the Road affected my life drastically, Like that was a
Kerouac?
book. Kerouac, yeah. That was a book that
one
was right
That's
up my
one.
alley,
Okay, gosh, I have always been such a huge reader. It's been a while since I've had the pleasure of it, because I've been spending so much time with moving pictures instead of the old-fashioned books lately. But gosh, the list of books is huge. So that's going to be really tough. But you asked specifically, actually influenced my life, and that's a much bigger question than just what books do I like.
Yeah, sorry, fully loaded.
I'm going to have to go with the ones that jumped out at me the very first second you said that particular thing, how it influenced me. And it's going to have to be the Dalai Lama's book on compassion and forgiveness. He has two, one on compassion, one on forgiveness. And both of those books, my reading has always been more fictional books, but I happened to get my hands on those books. And I love the gentleness about him. I love the kindness about him, and that ability that he has in the way he teaches to reach out to all human beings with kindness. And I think overall I've been pretty good at that for most of my life. I had a tendency to be a little bit harsh on people if they were not kind. If they were, I could be, if somebody was unkind to me, I might snap at them, or I might or not want to be around them or something like that. And both of those books really taught me the importance of being kind even to those who are not being kind. Not saying I'm particularly always good at it.
Hey, it ain't easy.
It's not easy. But learning to be more compassionate and for others and what other people are going through, and even if they're really being quite horrible. No, that doesn't mean that you have to be abusive to yourself and have people who are unkind in your life. You can let them go and feel compassion for them.
Sure, that's for sure.
So.
I worked in a hospital for 9 years, and I seen a lot of crazy shit. I was two semesters from being a nurse, right?
Oh.
I changed majors to English. Now I'm an English professor, and I help people in a different way.
Gosh, you and I could probably have so much fun talking about the different books we love.
Yeah, I was just about to start asking you another question. I said, you know what? We'll save that for another time, maybe. I don't think the horror fans want to hear me talking about David Foster Wallace right now and shit like that.
No.
Sorry, Jimmy.
This keeps it slicey dicey.
Yeah.
Well, if you want to do some slicing and dicing, we can talk some Titus Andromeda.
Oh man. Hey, we'll save that for another show.
Okay.
Well, I'm gonna have to. They bust my chops because I like to, I like the podcast and stuff. So they say, "Hey, my 87 podcast." So one of those 87.
Okay.
This has been fun. This has been fantastic. You guys got any other questions? I'm gonna look at my note real quick to see if I do. William,
think he fell asleep.
Debbie, one time we were recording a show, right? and I had a couple drinks that night, So at the time,
our
me
second
and
show,
Jim were also doing another show about wrestling. So we're like, all right, let's just do another one right after. I fell asleep on him and the other co-host, J-Mac, and I fell asleep on YouTube Live for 3.5 hours snoring.
Still got it.
It just had me on there, and when I'm drunk, I snore, So it was all sorts of decibels going up and down, sound like I was croaking on the couch, damn. It was bad. You gotta be careful with this podcast and shit.
Actually, do you do any kind of convention very often or anything?
I have only done 2.
Okay.
But I did the last one at Texas Frightmare. In fact, I showed my film, my dark comedy there. That's how I came up with the whole idea for the list.
Ah.
I had the best time, and I was so excited that my horror fans actually really responded to the list. They really enjoyed the dark comedy of it. That's when I knew I had to take her and push her over that serial killing list. And yeah, but I really had fun. The fans are really nice and kind, and so yeah, I hope to do more. I know I'm supposed to go somewhere in November. I know it's back east, but I don't know all the details yet. I have some more film festivals coming up. In fact, I'll be in Georgia for Something Wicked Film Festival.
Okay.
And then I'm also going to Hot Springs for Film Festival. You guys may know Tamara Glenn from Halloween 5.
Yes.
The two fives are going together. Yeah, she runs it. She runs the festival.
Oh yeah. That's Hot Springs?
That's in Hot Springs, yeah. And I'm waiting to hear on a couple others. I know that I'm in the finals on a few other film festivals, horror film festivals. So keep your fingers crossed for me.
Yeah. Check out the Brooklyn Horror Film Festival.
I'm being considered there, so keep your fingers crossed. I shouldn't say that. Don't put that in there, okay? But I'm hoping.
Make note. Edit that out.
Yeah, because last year's Scarefest in Kentucky was Friday the 13th devoted, and Kane Hodder was there, and a bunch of other Jasons were there, and Laura Park Lincoln was there, and a whole bunch of other the women from the movies. And I don't remember you there, but it would have been cool to be there if you were there too.
Hopefully this year. I'm keeping my fingers crossed.
Rooting for you. Rooting for you.
Thank you.
I gotta put my Brooklyn feelers out there for you.
Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed.
Hell yeah. Yeah. Anytime you're out east in the tri-state area, give me a shout. Definitely.
Absolutely. Hey, if you guys come to New Mexico, you have to call me.
Yes, definitely.
Seriously.
Of course.
I'm trying to get out there, not this year, but next year, to go visit my buddy. So I'll definitely holler at you.
I'm telling you, this place is heaven. It really is. It's amazing.
I hear great things. I hear, because I'm into poetry and everything too, aside from the horror, and I hear they got a budding scene over there, real great art scene going on.
Yeah, but you've got House, New Mexico, Santa Fe, Albuquerque. I live in the southern end around the Rio Doso area, Lincoln County, New Mexico, and that's very arty. And this is a place where people think you're weird if you're an accountant, but if you're an artist, you're fine.
That's my kind of place.
Yeah.
Just walk around with a fatty in your mouth, ain't nobody saying nothing.
Nope. You're an accountant, they'll look at you like, we're sorry, what do you do that you like to do?
What do you like to do? I say that to my students. I'm like, what are you here for?
Right.
What are you here? Why are you here? Just implant that thought right now. Because I've been there. I didn't know what I was doing.
Hey, do what you love. Do what you love. I've never done a job that I don't like. I was a journalist for many years. I tried to teach, thrown out, but that's okay. They don't like the
thrown out because of Friday. Yeah.
Oh yeah, twice, 2 high schools.
Jeez.
Yeah.
That's one thing I'm scared of. I teach in Brooklyn in an Orthodox religious college, and although I keep I do the right thing. I teach. You know what I mean? There's a method to my madness.
Great.
So
well, I'm teaching
like
your boobs.
Don't
do.
I already did.
We do. That's what we do on the Slice and Dice.
with Olaf
pasties
on my nipples from Frozen.
Pepperonis.
We did.
You are
I'm done for.
Did we get a final thought or final question? Anything from Bill? I know he cut out there. Did you have anything else you wanted to ask, Bill?
Yeah. Final question being, what's a fun fact about you that people might not be aware of, Deborah?
There's probably several things. Most of them I'll keep to myself.
Come on.
Well, you might not know that I was an English teacher. I taught British literature and journalism. You might not know that I was a longtime journalist covering arts and entertainment for the Dallas Morning News and Fort Worth Telegram and several magazines. You might not know that I was a Playboy bunny.
We did.
I do. I'm 48 years old. I do.
We did.
And let's see. Oh, I know one that you definitely don't know. And when I was in Dallas, I played at like convention kind of things. I played Wonder Woman.
Ooh.
Wow.
Ooh.
There's one. That's one. Probably almost nobody knows.
You do well in Times Square nowadays. Forget about it. They got every character under the sun out there.
A little past the Wonder Woman age.
Hey,
No, come on.
still got it. You'll always be Wonder Woman in our eyes.
Oh my. I do.
As long
I'll
as
never
we have
forget this. Wonder Woman.
boyfriend, I'm good to go.
Personally, for me, I just want to say, before we wrap up with Deborah here, I just want to say this was an incredible honor for me, somebody like me who just lives for slashers and Friday the 13th and everything. It's like when Joey first said that you were in contact with him, I was like, holy shit, make it happen. We got to make it happen. And yeah, it was great. Just fun being able to get on, just chat, and we're not very formal around here, but it was really good to hear everything you had to say, and any questions that anybody else has to ask, feel free to get in our group. We'll post all the links up for Deborah, catching up, the list, everything she has coming up, and if you have any other questions for her, I guess they can just shoot them your way or just put them on our page and we'll forward them to you.
Page, if you'll, is it on Facebook where they'll send me alerts? Because I will get on there and respond to people.
Yes.
How do I do it?
Yeah, I'll I don't know if you're in the group or not, but I'll add you and tag you and all that jazz.
Group? What do you mean?
You'll be in a Slice and Dice friends and podcast hosts and all this other. It's like a million words long, but yeah, you'll get a ton of notifications every day for it.
So we got the lists coming out, and check your website, check Facebook, check our group page shortly. We'll post it all up. And hey, you never know, you might get killed on screen. Right?
Yay!
Catching Up is your previous short from this year, I think. Or coming out this year, right? And then Billy Shakespeare from a few years back, your directorial debut. And don't forget Friday 5.
Yeah.
Get back out there and watch it.
Check
Download
out this stuff. Yeah.
Thank you.
And Deborah, it was a pleasure to have you on the show, really, and thank you for coming on.
Absolute pleasure.
Oh, awesome, guys. Thank you guys so much. So kind of you.
And come back again.
Yes.
When the list drops, we'll have probably 1,000 questions to ask you about the movie, and we can talk more about it.
Yes.
And see what happens.
That'd be awesome. I want this to be my franchise.
Yeah.
We'll make it happen. Socialites.
We'll support you any way we can.
More fitting for a serial killer than a socialite? Come on.
It's great.
Let's think about it. I mean, we got it.
Seriously. I got a crazy idea about the in Brooklyn, because the yuppies and then the originals from the neighborhoods is a whole lot of conflict, and there's definitely an idea churning in there. Working on my script here, so
Cool.
I have to send that your way one day for some feedback, if you don't mind.
Oh, of course not.
That'd be amazing.
Send it my way.
So again, thanks, Deborah, for coming on, and we're going to continue talking about a movie called Strangeland. I don't know if you've seen it or not, with Dee Snider.
All right.
And until next time, fare you well.
Thank you very much, Deborah.
Awesome.
You have a good evening.
Thank you.
Take care.
Bon
Bye.
voyage.
Bon
Bye-bye.
voyage.
Bye-bye.
Arrivederci. Ciao.
Bye-bye.
Just in honor of Deborah, after she leaves, I just had a little... That right there was Deborah getting her eyes gouged out by garden shears in Friday the 13th Part 5. That was a hell of a scream right there. Hell of a scream.
Yes, it is.
All right.
Oh, yeah.
So you want to hear this intro, Joey? What do we do?
Why don't we just Wait here for a little while. See what happens.
What have you done to it? What have you done to its eyes? What have you done to him, you maniac? Listen, asshole!
No, you listen, you little bitch. You hang up on me again, I'll cut you like a fish.
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
Here's Johnny.
Yeah.
Yes.
Nice.
The new music is fucking badass.
Thank you, River Runt Scarlet.
Well done, Jim.
Yeah.
Well, that's thanks to Joey.
Well,
Thank you, Joey. Good tune.
I try, you know. Thanks for the music.
I'm all about the metal.
All I did was splice it together. You know,
Splice and dice.
splice and dice, baby. All right, boys. So, on the plate tonight is Strangeland, 1998. Right?
That's
Did I
right.
get the year right here?
1998.
I believe so.
Yes.
Fucked up on Jaws, and Jerry Herring threatened to sew me up and speed me till I blow. Sorry.
1975
Didn't mean
was
to offend
Jaws.
anybody.
I sounded like I was with Jaws under the water in that episode.
Oh shit. We're talking about the latest episode, the initial inaugural episode of the Slice and Dice Mafia, the Horror Mafia podcast. I got all these fucking podcasts. I can never get the names straight.
Jeez, I can't imagine how Dave Z must feel.
That's when we do the show and Jim comes on, then it's the Slice and Dice Mafia podcast.
That's right.
Oh shit.
Good
All right.
times.
So what do we got here? Strangeland, 1998, directed by John Pipolo and written by Dee Snider himself.
That's right.
Yes.
You know, I remember stumbling upon this one on, like, I think it was Showtime back in the day. I think it was like was this released on Showtime specifically?
I don't think it was, but
No, I mean, I don't believe so.
Yeah. That's where I caught it when I was a teenager, and when I saw it back then, I thought it was fucking awesome.
Yeah.
And I'll reveal my thoughts on it now shortly. But
Yeah, I mean, in the movie,
I've seen a few.
you got Dee Snider, you got Linda Cardellini, who most people know, I think, today. Robert Englund, Amy Smart, Elizabeth Pena, Kevin Gage, which is a good character actor. You know, a lot of good people in this film.
Yo,
Woody
I
Harrelson's
could
brother.
not- Yeah,
Yeah,
Brett.
Harrelson.
I could not believe how many people were in this movie, though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
There was a lot of peeps.
When I first saw it, I didn't realize that was Linda Cardellini.
yeah,
Yeah, and I had no idea.
And now I'm like, wow, that was her.
that's
Or,
her.
or
all right.
Amy Smart as the cousin.
Yeah.
Yep, very small role, but yeah, good movie. They were good actors.
One of the few roles she didn't take her top off.
Well, Road Trip was not long after this, which was her big breakthrough. So.
Right.
Man, I saw that in theaters and loved it. I wonder how that would hold up nowadays.
Oh, jeez.
So, Captain Howdy, Jim,
Capped How.
Jim,
Yes.
you mentioned to me that this was a film that you liked a lot, right?
Oh my God, yeah. No, I don't even know how many times I've seen it. This movie probably is up there with the amount of times I've seen like Halloween. Like, I don't know why, but like it's just one of them where I'm just sitting there and I have all these films and I'm just like, you know what? I'm playing it. Just playing it. Just keep playing it. Every so often, just turn it on and I never get bored with it. I just love it. I think Dee Snider was a great idea, great film, great character. Carlton Hendricks and Captain Howdy, blah blah blah. I love the piercing world. I love the tattoo world. I love all that body modification stuff. So it all hits my mental interests. So yeah, everything about it was good. I mean, it was definitely a not a high budget Hollywood film, obviously, but to me, it stands up with any of the other horror films of its time, even today too.
Watching this, I think it holds up strong, except for the technology aspect of it.
Well, that's what I wanted to talk about. That's what I wanted to talk about. Most of it is not just the physical technology of it, but the fact of this was pretty much right at the boom of the internet and people being able to be different people online and be in chat rooms and all that kind of stuff. And today you hear about it all the time, but back then it wasn't huge. It wasn't a big, I think it was a very original idea for it came out in 98, but I'm sure he had the idea, a couple years prior to it. But being in a chat room and luring teenage girls and doing all that kind of stuff, today it's like a well-known thing with dating sites and Craigslist and all that stuff. But back then it wasn't really that big of a deal, because when it's Windows 95, that was like 3 years prior. So I think it was a really ahead of its time film, and it doesn't get the credit it deserves.
I definitely think this is a good movie. I enjoy it. And back in the day, I enjoyed it, and I enjoyed watching it last night too. And the technology, obviously, that was what it was at the time. But before we go deeper down into that, I wanted to ask Bill, what was your relationship with Strangeland?
I saw Strangeland when it first came out, and my initial reaction was, you've heard the album Stay Hungry by Twisted Sister?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, they've got those two songs. They got Captain Howdy and Street Justice.
Yep.
I remember back in '84 when I saw Nightmare on Elm Street, I thought that they had copied those two songs and put them together and made Freddy Krueger. But it looks like this is the true meaning of what he was thinking behind those songs. And I can't believe that the effects still held up. Everything was great. I still love the movie.
Yeah. I thought Dee Snider looked fucking badass still.
Yeah.
I was like, whoa.
Funny story about Dee Snider. I did a movie back with Tim Ritter who did Truth or Dare. It was called Dirty Cop No Donut. And the story goes, I hear that Dee Snider, when he saw my scene, was raving about my scene. He came out, it was called The Den of Sin, New York. That he was a big fan of my scene in that movie, so I thought that was really funny.
That's awesome.
Dee, man, he's awesome. He looks like a monster. I mean, geez.
His acting really shined through with this, especially playing the dual roles. Going from this sadistic torturer to spoiler, shut off, go see Strangeland if you never saw it, to when he gets actually caught.
Thanks.
I'll do that for you right now. But he covers up his tattoos, and he becomes this really straight edge, straight laced man. And then all of a sudden,
Carlton.
he goes from Captain Howdy to Carlton Hendricks, and then events take place with.
He's sympathetic too. He's really, really. You feel bad for him.
I mean, yes, it had to do with medication, but still, it was working. You know what I mean?
Right. It's crazy though that you said that, Bill, because I'm watching and I felt bad for him, even though he was fucked up, and that's good storytelling. That's good filmmaking right there.
One other movie did that to me, and that was When a Stranger Calls. In the theater, I saw that, and you felt at first you're terrified of the guy, and then you feel bad for him, and you want to see him do well, and then he turns bad again. Same exact. If it makes you feel something, Yeah,
and looking at the box office here kind of upsets me, but it had a $1.1 million budget, and the box office was only $713,000. So I just don't think it
only played 6 theaters across the country too.
Yeah, I guess.
I
know that he was trying to get a sequel done in Florida. He had an ad out looking for people with body modifications to just open casting call. Never fell through though. I mean, it fell through. It never came to fruition.
Yeah, what I'm looking at here for sequel, courtesy of Wikipedia, if it's not true, I don't care. It says a sequel titled Strangeland Disciple is being produced by Amaji Entertainment as of May 2015, so obviously that didn't happen. Dee Snider plans to have it rated NC-17 and later release it as R-rated version. So that's as of 2 years ago. So who knows if that's in the works or not.
I'm curious as to why he'd want to release it unrated and then release an R rating.
For broader, it says here for broader releases for the R rating, for wider exposure, then I guess the DVD will be NC-17 rating.
Gotcha.
And then a comic book also. Dee Snider Strangeland
Fangoria
7.
the first?
Yeah, Fangoria Comics. Then completely suddenly closed after the first issue was printed.
Yep. Someone else picked him up, I believe, too.
Yeah. All right.
See, but then there's parts of this movie that I thought were a little, like transition. You know, the meds fall out of his pocket, they get crushed by the car, and then that night he's a fucking raving lunatic again.
He just about died. I mean, after being hung off a tree, you know, kind of probably just cut the oxygen off to his brain. What a rush!
And Robert Englund doing a fantastic job.
Oh, yeah. Obviously, whenever he says what a rush, it turns into Legion of Doom or something. But Robert Englund's character, you know, being the quintessential small-town hickey drunk dad, basically creates this monster, you know, but it is what it is. So at least you can say he killed Freddy Krueger. Or try to torture Freddy Krueger, Elias.
Right. I haven't seen this shit in a long time. I didn't remember Robert Englund was in this.
Oh my!
And just seeing him in his fucking little tighty whities and then getting sprawled out with some fucking hooks, I was like, holy shit! Robert Englund's the man for doing this.
Eyes sewn shut, mouth sewn shut. Yeah.
Oh yeah, mouth and eyes. Those. And that was another thing. The special effects were pretty good, you know? But then, like, the chick gets her mouth sewn shut. Then they show her 4 years later, and she's looking like mint still. There should have been just little scars, you know?
Maybe.
Unless it heals. I don't know. Maybe it heals. I don't know.
Piercings heal. Is it different from any? I mean, I've seen lip piercings that healed and went away. Any? I don't know.
I mean, I think a lip piercing is different than fucking getting sutured across your mouth with probably unsterilized, fucked up.
Hey, he looked like he knew what he was doing.
Medical procedure.
He looked like he knew what he was doing. I think he was very gentle, very sterile.
He was very sterile.
Captain Howdy knows what he's doing. But I thought the effects were good. Folks. You know, for the budget, I thought the effects were pretty good. You know, they kept it kind of dark looking with the shooting, but yeah, I think that helped a lot. But the set on fire part at the end, you can definitely tell was big fix bodysuit, whatever.
It wasn't that bad though.
I mean, you could tell the difference.
It didn't look like, oh my god, this is horrible.
No, he just all of a sudden turned into a 300-pound bigger dude. But yeah, no, I thought it.
I thought what's his name was a little Kevin Gage as the cop was a little the father. But
I like Kevin Gage.
Linda Card. I mean, he wasn't bad because when he came in on the daughter and saved her, like I was like, yeah, you know. But I thought Linda Cardinelli played, victim's role really well. And she definitely added to that. You know, I don't know if it was because I was familiar with her now, and that added like that, that sense of knowing the person and like seeing them as the victim. Maybe that affects me. I don't know. Something that just popped into my brain.
Yeah, I just love her as an actress. I mean, I think
break down the psychology of it.
I think her as an actress is just good, and she was obviously younger in this film, but I thought she did a great victim character.
Well, at this point, this was like Freaks and Geeks.
Yeah.
Years. Mm-hmm. Actually, watched the pilot a couple days ago with my wife. It's a good show. Hey, look at that.
It was a good show.
So yeah, that internet chat room, man, interesting.
I mean, I was doing that shit back then.
1998, Jim was stalking prey, baby.
Well, what's funny is this shows my mentality is that I literally had the screen name Captain Howdy as a screen name. I swear to God, dude. Like I was.
Take off your shirt. Let's see.
Do you like hip hop?
Do you like hip hop music and skateboarding and snowboarding? Oh, that's funny. Yeah, the terminologies and stuff was funny. Like, I don't know.
Oh, the opening scene with the sound of the modem. I mean, geez.
Yeah.
Who remembers that?
Oh
Yeah.
my god.
Dial-up's the shit.
And what about the cell phone? The guy was tethering a cell phone. I was like, holy shit! This movie is ahead of its time.
Yep.
What?
Yeah. That's where all the budget went.
He's timing in his fucking car. The laptop the size of his fucking torso.
Rewinding live audio and having a Skype call right there in the car. It was a good time, man.
Yeah. And then also, like, he just happened to be sitting outside his house and the dog barking thing.
Yeah.
I remember when I was a kid, that part, and I was like, whoa. Now I'm just like, dude, you just specifically showed that this population was 350,000 people in this town, and you just happen to be right in front of the house? Come on, you know? But at the same time, I thought it was a very clever way to catch them, too. And also, you know, because I haven't watched it in a while, I was like, yo, this movie's going to end in like a half an hour. What the fuck happened? What? I forgot about the whole conversion part. Once it happened, they're all, you know, it was like the floodgates opened, but I was like, dude, he just got arrested? It's like 30 minutes in.
Yeah.
See, I like that, though. It's like with Phantasm. You never knew when the movie was really over. So,
Oh, yeah. Oh,
big
yeah.
plus. Didn't know what's coming up.
Yeah, it works. This movie works. I like it. That's for
I
sure.
have to agree. I love it.
Like,
He's going to
literally,
film a
it's-
sequel in Lauderdale, but he never did.
like almost 20 years later, I'm still watching it like it's, you know, awesome. So it's obviously one of them stand out. It still stands up films. Still holds up.
Oh, yeah. Sure.
Yeah. It's a fun hour and a half. Cool effects. If you like seeing, you know, I was about to say S&D,
S&M,
M and all that fucking kind of shit.
BDSM, S&M, body modifications, things like that. Yeah.
But you know, there was parts of this movie that I thought were. Let me bust open my notes now, Jimmy.
Go ahead.
Like the whole part with the people that were against him, and think about it, when they went to that club, right? When they go to that club, right, and it's like a fucking
Club Hell.
yeah,
Club
where
Hell,
he's like hanging by his nipples in the back of the club,
Yeah.
you know.
Well, he's doing suspension, which is just hooks in the back type thing, or chest.
He wakes up like, I was almost dead. I was crossing the abyss. I was almost there, you know, and he fucking pissed at the guy or whatever.
Yeah.
But like, okay, that's this one guy, but like all these other 1,000 people that are partying aren't fucking murdering criminals, you know? But then there was an aspect of the film where it was like, I'm trying to find my note, but where it was like, you know, okay, they're looking at all these people being like that now, you know, with all the protesters and the cops, the way they went about it. Where the fuck is my note? But yeah, when you know what I'm saying?
I think we all know what you're saying.
With the people, with the people who are protesting him being rehabilitated and all that.
Yeah, but I'm saying like it opens up a conversation about, you know, the stereotype that these people are getting because they go to this club, listen to industrial music, fucking might like to get body piercings. It's saying, oh, these people are bad. Like there's a message that is contradicting, you know, where this group is saying that they're bad while they're saying this is the way of life and transitioning to, you know, other experiences, blah, blah, blah. Whatever you're into it for, you know what I mean? But it opens up that conversation here.
Well, he was bad, and he was into all that.
He was bad, but remember when he was at that club, the other people there weren't bad. So I'm saying, like, just they weren't committing crimes at the moment. Maybe they were fucking murderers that we don't know about. But like, just because you like to get your dick pierced doesn't mean you're a fucking sick bastard that is gonna start killing and fucking torturing people.
I can attest to that.
Right, Jim?
I can attest to that. I have not. I have not caused physical harm or killed anybody.
Your screen name was Captain Howdy.
Yes. We all have a fantasy. we all have this fantasy world, and we live through it online, right?
Love it.
You know,
Hey, how come?
go with that, Billy.
How come Kevin Gage? How come his character's name was Gage? Mike Gage. Mike Gage.
Mike Gage, yeah. I was like,
Maybe he's like Charlie
He
Sheen,
got
and
a
he
little
can't.
lazy.
And the only way he can work is working with his own first name in every damn movie he's ever in.
maybe it was like a Debbie Voorhees situation.
Yeah.
Who, by the way, just sent me a message and said that was a blast. Thank you, Debbie. You're the best.
She rocks.
Hell yeah. So yeah, this movie also had some nice camera work. There was that scene in the beginning where he's like doing the pull-ups, and then the camera's like facing the house far away, and it's going to him, and it's going in, it's going to him, and it's going back and forth, and then the chick tries to escape, and then you got the candle. I thought like that scene specifically is one of the best cinematic camera work, cinematography aspects of the fucking film. Great right there. That was a great scene.
I agree. Whoever did the cameraman, they had a good eye.
And
some of the angles, like in the club, you know.
Yeah, the way they were going around, and even like the way you saw him hanging on the hooks, it wasn't like up close. It was a far shot, like a few
you saw it
rooms down.
Yeah, but you saw the whole body. That was awesome. I have no complaints.
It was almost looked like a silhouette.
It was kind of like The Cell. Remember The Cell?
Yeah.
God.
Oh, we
reviewed The Cell.
Well, yeah, you know that scene where they break into his house and Robert Englund's just like a fucking nut. It's like somebody's got to take that boy out.
Yep.
It's like, you know, your stepdaughter's not with him. You know she's just a filthy hooer. Come on. And then it's just like a 10-second scene of her like banging her teenage boyfriend in a hotel room, and then
with the A cups. A cups in a motel.
A cups in a motel, eh? I couldn't even tell you. I don't remember. But,
I do.
But, you know, also the other thing was, what about the fact that how quickly he got released? 4 years? Murder? Come on.
Played insanity, man.
But you know what? If you think about it, you know, 1998, the internet was fairly new. The World Wide Web was, 1992 it was launched, I believe?
It wasn't it wasn't very mainstream until at least mid-90s.
You know, nowadays, look at Catch a Predator and shit like that, you know?
Catfish.
So, yeah, Catfish.
That's me.
I thought this was pretty ahead of its time as far as, like, the fucked up shit that could happen on the internet, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I wonder, like, how much of that happened in 1998, or did Dee Snider just, like, hear maybe a story or two and say, oh, that would make a good movie, you know?
Well, you got to think that the way I thought about it was there were no smartphones, there were no Facebook, there was no instant gratification stuff. I think more of this stuff was happening as soon as the internet came out. People, especially psychos, they were like, holy crap, I actually have like an outlet. I have a way, you know, to be anonymous, to lure people in. It wasn't just like Ted Bundy driving to, you know, college campuses and sororities and stuff like that. It was more like they can hide a little bit and they could lure people in and create these characters. I think it was happening, but the news was probably just a murder. It wasn't a cyber murder. You know what I mean? So like it is today.
Right.
Everything revolved around the internet today, but back then, I don't think it was as mainstream, you know, nowhere near as mainstream at that point.
And they were coming to him. He was hosting a party, remember? They were all like, yeah, let's go.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
My parents are out of town.
You know?
Yeah.
They didn't teach kids about that.
No.
You just stayed away from funky looking vans.
Yeah.
He just sat back and let the victims come to him. Bam.
At that point,
Wild shit, man.
at that point, it's pretty much,
Lazy
you know, they made their own choice to go to a stranger's house. So that's really like, mentality wise, you're like, you know, could you blame something bad for happening?
Right. And they even warned in the beginning. They were like, you're not really going to go, are you? You know how they knew better.
Yeah.
Hey, it's not his fault. It's all right.
No.
Let him go. He's fucking nuts. Release him in 4 years.
4 years.
Bottle of pills, he'll be all right.
He'll be fine. Put him in a nice Bill Cosby sweater, cover up his tattoos, he'll be good to go.
Dude, this Dee Snider was a fucking seer. You know, he fucking called 20 years later. Look at this fucking cesspool out there.
Yeah.
God, it's a nightmare. Listening to Sword and Scale, and you fucking don't want to let your daughter leave the house.
How about that soundtrack too? Pantera, Anthrax, Megadeth.
Yeah.
Marilyn Manson. It was.
Yeah. It's fucking badass.
That's what you get when metal royalty makes a movie. They can they can pretty much do whatever the hell they want.
That's right.
Yeah. I really liked it. I did. I gotta say.
Sweet.
All right, you guys got anything left you want to round out here and rate this bad boy?
Bill, go ahead.
All right. I actually the second viewing I saw it once when it first came out, and I saw it again, and it actually bumped me up a little to a 7.5.
Wait,
we're gonna have to cut that.
We're gonna cut that down to a 3.5, right?
3.5 or 3,
whatever,
or 4.
Go for it. 4
out of 5. What is out of 5? 4 out of 5?
4 out of 5 zombie heads. That's how we would rate it.
You know what? Let's see. We'll give it a.
Sorry,
I forgot you guys go to 1 to 5. So yeah, give it a 3.5, almost 4.
All right.
I'm with you right there, Bill. I got a 3.5. I think it's fun. It's great. It does have its flaws, and it's those plot points that really, because you could have probably written around them somehow. Especially when it feels like a packed movie. It flies by, but like a lot happens in sequence, you know? So maybe if it was expanded an extra 15 minutes, maybe just a little more into his backstory,
sure,
you know, it would have been a little better. But hey, for fucking what it was, you know, I thought it was pretty damn good.
Personally, for me, this is a rewatch for me, you know, many times. It's more personal for me because I do like that lifestyle. I do like, you know, the metal, the piercing, the tattoo stuff. I do like all that stuff. So that's probably what made me like it so much back then. And I was only fucking 98. What?
We were 14,
15, yeah. 14, 15 years old.
14.
So imagine me seeing this at that age, you know, and that's when I was just getting on the internet, and that's when I was making Captain Howdy screen names. So that puts a little more in your head, like how messed up I was. but
is Captain Howdy, is it something else that I don't know about, or is
from The Exorcist?
The Exorcist, man.
Oh yeah, Captain Howdy.
Yeah. Yeah, it's great for me. It's definitely a 4 out of 5 zombie heads for me. Couple of the effects, like I said, you know, it's not perfect. It's not a perfect film. It's a short run time. I think I agree if they added maybe 15 minutes or so to it, which is, you know, opposite of a lot of movies we've watched where I said they can cut it down 15, 20 minutes and make a good movie. This is more of a, I would like to see more of a backstory, more of a, kind of like what Rob Zombie did with Michael Myers, kind of, you know, give him more of a backstory, why he became like he was, things like that. Mm-hmm. Other than that, love the film. Thought it was good with the budget for its time, ahead of its time. Almost 20 years later, definitely still holds up. So, definitely a recommendation for anybody who has not seen Dee Snider's Strangeland. And just like I say, Rob Zombie's Halloween, just like I say, John Carpenter's Halloween, Rob Zombie's House, always Dee Snider's Strangeland. You know, it's his film. You know, it was his idea, and it was great. So yeah, I definitely recommend it.
If it had some more money and some more time, it would be a 4 at least.
Definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely. At least, if not more, because I like the concept. I like the ideas. I like the social conversations that you can bring up about it. So you know, it's there. It's just it is what it is. It's a
1998 film. If it was made in 2008, 2017, it'd be a completely different film and probably way better. But it is a 1998 film, so we have to just give it that credit. Mm-hmm. It's due.
I'm not going to say it was in the top 10, but it might be in the top 25 in the 90s, in my opinion. And the 90s had a lot of shitty horror movies.
Yeah.
Yes. Could have used a couple of more Muppets or something. Little Dee Snider Muppet flying around.
Oh, shit. All right. So, I guess that's it for the night, fellas.
I would have loved to hear "We're not going to take it" as Kevin Gage is going into the house. It's like, we're not. It's just kidding. No,
you're not gonna take her.
It would have been cool, just a little taste of it. You know, driving down in a car down the street or something, just in the background.
Oh shit!
All right, how you want to plug? What do we have coming up, Joey? Anything you want to?
What do we got coming up?
Plug that we know is going to happen.
Well, real quick, Bill, you want to plug the Mafia?
You bet. Hey, listen to the Horror Mafia podcast right on the Horrorphilia Network. We have a Gmail, Horror Mafia podcast at gmail.com, Facebook page, the Horror Mafia, and a Twitter account, Horror Mafia Cast. How's that?
That's beautiful. Excellent. And don't forget about the Slice and Dice Instagram page.
Hey.
Yeah. So,
Slice and Dice Dreadcast.
Yeah.
Underscore.
Slice
and Dice Dreadcast underscore in between each word.
Underscore.
Yeah, whatever.
Just fucking find James on Facebook and ask him. And also, we got a couple things coming up. J-Mac, we got the Insidious trilogy. We got the episode from last week that we didn't release yet. We got Tuesday, Mike Merriman coming in for Child's Play 1 and 2. And we just on board, we got the Woodsboro brothers, Austin and Andrew, coming in on Tuesday, August 29th. We'll be talking about Intruder and Lost After Dark. So you'll be getting some slashing, Jimmy.
Nice. And I do want to apologize to Bill for having to get bumped before, but we'll definitely, as you can see if you watch any of the previous episodes, I'm not in my normal studio because I'm doing what I have to do to get these shows in, but I'm not at home, so we'll make it happen.
That's okay. I'm a laid back, easygoing guy. I can't wait to be back, and I want to thank you both for having me.
You're welcome. And when you do come back, we're going to cover slashers and 100 Bloody Acres. So, looking forward to it. And that's it, folks. Until next time, fare you all well. Hit us up on Facebook. And it's a wrap.
All right, thanks a lot. Head over to Google, type Slice and Dice Dreadcast, find all our pages.